I think this issue of engagement is going to be an important one, and if we don't get to talk about it a lot today, it's something that you all should look at, because employee engagement is directly related to their job satisfaction, therefore your customer satisfaction. And one of the large retailers that I work with nationwide can calculate the percentage of dollars that a retail store has increased volume of sales based on the percentage of employee engagement going up 1 percentage point. It can be worth several $1 million per location, large retailer. So thank you for mentioning that. So now let's get a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper with these questions. In India, you are in a very unusual position in your educational endeavors in the community, very directly related to trying to change the economic nature of our community. And would you talk to us a little bit about what the strategic drivers have been for you and the Cleveland Foundation to get engaged in the kind of education specifically around the University Circle project?
Well, thank you, Denise. Just to give a little context, we have and I mentioned initiatives that we're convening. My colleague Lillian Curry and I have, over the past 3 years, have worked on what we call the Greater University Circle Initiative. And this is a place-based initiative working with the anchor-based institutions. Cleveland Clinic is one of our partners, Case Western Reserve, University Hospitals. And within this, we're looking at transportation, housing, employer-assisted housing, education, and then also what we are calling community wealth and economic inclusion. And it's a different model. It's really exciting. We have a wonderful team of consultants and partners working with us to really make a difference in the community. So we have created the Evergreen Cooperative Development Fund, and we're creating a network of employee-owned businesses in the community, working with anchor-based institutions to provide employment as well as wealth and assets for the families working there. And so the drivers for this, the last year that I've spent, I think education is very important, because when you are working in a place, you have to stay up. We're in a global economy now. And if we don't stay up with what's happening globally and constantly work on ourselves to delve deeper into understanding new models, new paradigms, and especially in community development. We've seen billions of dollars go into our neighborhoods, but yet and still we have lots of issues around poverty, homelessness, joblessness. But this model will allow our residents to be trained in financial management, what it means to be an employee owner, and to also understand what it means to own the company that you work for. So in that, we have 3 businesses that will be opening soon. We have a commercial green scale laundry. We are opening Ohio Cooperative Solar and a large scale green agriculture project. And we've just hired the first set of employees. And for the employees to understand what it means not just to have a job, but has a job that's going to pay back real assets and build real wealth long term, creates a different kind of citizen. And so the education we provide there also will be important not only to those individuals, but their families as well.
India, it's fair to say, I think, that if you had started these new cooperative or employee-owned or neighborhood-owned businesses, but you didn't provide the core skills training, instead of being empowering, we would actually diminish the self-esteem of our citizens in the neighborhood. Is that an accurate statement?
That's an accurate statement. And I think, we're working with the Ohio Employee Ownership Center out of Kent State, as well as our lead consultant, Ted Howard, with the Democracy Collaborative from the University of Maryland. And we've provided, working also with Towards Employment, focus groups in the neighborhood to work with residents to understand, one, what does it mean to be an employee owner? And it's been a tremendous result so far. The employees that have been hired understand the benefits. And what we've heard so far are things like, gee, I never thought I could be the owner of a major corporation. Owning your own job is a wonderful thing. So we are creating really a cultural mindset that is different and a new model that actually can be built upon and used in other places. Starting in this 5-mile area with 43,000 residents with incomes of $18,500 and below. But just to think that over a period of time that these employees, and I'll give one example, in the laundry, they will buy into the company, and over a 7 to 8 year period will build up $65,000 in assets that is their equity to be used, almost like a 401k. And so these employees, after 6 months, will then be trained by the Ohio Employee Ownership Center. They will learn open book management. They will learn, you know, when do you take off your owner's hat and when do you put on your worker's hat. And so it's a whole different mindset. And it's not just giving somebody a job. It's giving people hope for the future. And you know, just like you talked about, when you build incentives in place and make people feel like they're valued, you create a different culture. And we hope that, you know, this network will grow from 3 businesses to 10 to one day 50. And it's actually built on a model in Mondragon, Spain, where they have over 100 cooperatives with 120,000 employees. And so we have a group from the institutions as well as the foundation traveling there to learn as much as we can about that. And it's a 3-day training, but another way to learn from a global perspective, things we can bring back to our own city.
That's great. So that brings us back to you in the audience. We've heard a couple of different explanations about what companies are doing, and some are providing support for traditional education, and we heard the value of the bachelor's degree graduate coming to Sherwin-Williams and the value of their formal education. We're also hearing about this very focused skills level education that is in a non-traditional setting. When you think about your own experience, this is for your little clickety deal, when you think about your own learning, how important are job experiences to you versus traditional classroom education? Very important, somewhat important, not important. What's interesting in America, what we know about Americans particularly, which is not true of all cultures, but is true of American culture, is that we by far prefer to learn by doing, by being engaged. Whether it is in a classroom setting that is engaging, where we're doing something, or whether we're out in our job learning something. This is our preferred method of education. And yet we spend most of our focus talking about education as the traditional classroom.